This video, lasting about 10 minutes, introduces you to 9 English words sourced from 1100 Words You Need to Know by Murray Bromberg and Melvin Gordon, a premier book for enhancing your vocabulary. The goal is to broaden your choice of words. This video is not just about their meanings or how you use them. My colleagues and I are going to share some cool techniques to help these words stick in your memory. So whether you're on your way to work, in the bathroom, or have a few spare moments, you can play this video and make the most of your time by enhancing your English vocabulary. At the end of this video, you will hear a short story from the book, using all the words we've talked about. So stay tuned until the very end and see if you can understand the paragraph.
The word for today is laceration. Laceration is a noun. Laceration means a deep cut or tear in skin. People mostly use the word laceration when talking about serious cuts from accidents, especially in medical talk. For example, the doctor carefully cleaned the laceration on his arm before stitching it up. The doctor carefully cleaned the laceration on his arm before stitching it up. Any tricks to remember this word? To remember laceration, think of lace and ration. Lace and ration. Ration means to give out something in small, limited amounts. Picture a piece of fabric or lace getting torn into pieces, much like a cut or tear on the skin. This visual can help you associate laceration with the idea of something being ripped apart, creating a deep, jagged cut, similar to how fabric might look if it were rationed or torn into sections. Laceration. 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 The word for today is castigate. Castigate is a verb. Castigate means to criticize or punish someone severely. Castigate is being used more in contexts like legal discussions, academic critiques, and other formal settings. For example, health inspectors castigated the kitchen staff for poor standards of cleanliness. Health inspectors castigated the kitchen staff for poor standards of cleanliness. Any tricks to remember this word? Think of cast in the sense of actors performing in a play, and gate as the entrance to the stage. Imagine an actor who gets told off for not acting well, like they're being shown the gate off the stage. This can help you remember. Castigate means someone getting a really strict telling off. Castigate. 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 The word for today is sordid. Sordid is an adjective. Sordid means dirty or very bad in a moral way. For example, in his book, he discussed the sordid past of a banana orchard in Colombia that was funded by a U.S. company. In his book, he discussed the sordid past of a banana orchard in Colombia that was funded by a U.S. company. Any tricks to remember this word? To remember sordid, you could think of it as sort of did. Sort of did. Imagine someone whispering, "I sort of did something bad," implying they're ashamed or trying to hide something morally dirty or wrong. This phrase can help you link sordid to actions or histories that are not just bad but carry a sense of shame or secrecy, making it easier to recall that sordid refers to things that are morally degraded or filthy. Sordid. Sordid. Sordid.
The word for today is octogenarian. Octogenarian is a noun. Octogenarian means a person between 80 and 89 years old. The word octogenarian is mostly used in formal writing, like news or medical articles, to describe someone in their 80s. For example, she is very active for an octogenarian. She is very active for an octogenarian. Any tricks to remember this word? To remember octogenarian, we can break it down into 2 parts. Octo and genarian. The prefix octo comes from the Greek word for 8. It's used in various terms that relate to the number 8, like a shape with 8 sides or octopus, which has 8 arms. Genarian relates to a type of age or generation. When combined with the numerical prefix, it indicates someone of a specific decade of age. So, octogenarian combines octo, 8, with genarian, pertaining to a decade of age, to specifically refer to someone who is in their 80s, or between 80 and 89 years old. Octogenarian, octogenarian, octogenarian. The The word for today is solace. Solace is both a noun and a verb. Solace means finding comfort or relief when you're feeling sad or upset. For example, when his wife left him, he found solace in whiskey. When his wife left him, he found solace in whiskey. Any tricks to remember this word? To remember the word solace, you can think of it as solace. Solace, where you find comfort that is so soothing, like the gentle lacing together of supportive threads when you need comfort. Visualizing solace as a soft, comforting lace that wraps around you during tough times can help the meaning stick. Solace, solace, solace. The word for today is aspirant. Aspirant is both a noun and an adjective. Aspirant means someone who is trying hard to reach a goal or achieve something big. The word aspirant isn't used much in daily talk, but it's more common in formal situations like job talks or articles. For example, the mountain climber, an aspirant for the world record, trained relentlessly to conquer the highest peaks on each continent. The mountain climber, an aspirant for the world record, trained relentlessly to conquer the highest peaks on each continent. Any tricks to remember this word? To remember the word aspirant, you can think of it as someone who aspires to something, since aspirant and aspire share the same root. Visualize an aspirant as a climber aspiring or aiming to reach the top of a mountain. This image of striving towards a high goal can help link the meaning of aspirant with ambition and determination, making it easier to remember. Aspirant, aspirant, aspirant. The word for today is dregs. Dregs is a noun. Dregs means the bits left at the bottom of a drink like coffee or wine, or it can mean the worst part of something. It's more likely to appear in written English than spoken English, especially in formal or descriptive texts. For example, he wanted a last drink of coffee, but there were only dregs left. He wanted a last drink of coffee, but there were only dregs left. Any tricks to remember this word? To remember the word dregs, you might think of drags, as in something that drags down to the bottom. Just like the remnants or the least desirable parts of a liquid settle at the bottom, they can be thought of as what drags down. Associating dregs with the idea of being at the very bottom or the end can help you remember its meaning. Dregs. The word for today is frenzy. Frenzy is a noun. Frenzy means a state of great activity and strong emotion that is often violent or frightening and not under control. For example, the stock market was in a frenzy as prices soared unpredictably. The stock market was in a frenzy as prices soared unpredictably. Any tricks to remember this word? To remember frenzy, you can associate it with friends going crazy. Friends going crazy. Picture a group of friends dancing wildly at a party and having an extremely energetic time, their excitement reaching a peak. This image of friends in a state of wild enjoyment can help you connect the word frenzy with uncontrolled excitement and activity. Frenzy, frenzy, frenzy. The word for today is scurrilous. Scurrilous is an adjective. Scurrilous means something that is very rude and meant to upset or embarrass someone. The word scurrilous isn't commonly used in everyday conversation. It's more likely to be found in formal contexts, like legal or literary discussions, or in written articles. For example, the politician's reputation suffered due to the scurrilous rumors spread by his opponents. The politician's reputation suffered due to the scurrilous rumors spread by his opponents. Any tricks to remember this word? To break down the word scurrilous for easier memorization, you can focus on its components. Scurry. This part sounds like scurry, which means to move quickly. Think of scurrilous language spreading quickly and recklessly. Louse. This ending can be linked to words like scandalous or fabulous, which describe something notable in a certain way. For scurrilous, It emphasizes the nature of the remarks being notably offensive or scandalous. So you can remember scurrilous as referring to quickly spreading, notably offensive or scandalous statements, much like rumors that scurry around causing a scandal. How to remember scurry? To remember scurry, using sound association is to think of curry. Imagine a scenario where someone spills a hot pot of curry, and everyone at the table has to scurry away quickly to avoid getting burned. This visual can help you link scurry with rapid, swift movement in response to an urgent situation, similar to the quick, short steps when trying to move away from danger. Scurry, scurrilous, scurry, scurrilous, scurry, scurrilous. Now let's read a short story that uses all the words we've learned today to see if you understand the story's meaning.
The irate 80-year-old manager pressed charges against K.O. Mullins, suing him for assault. As tangible evidence of the attack, he pointed to a deep laceration over his eyebrow that had required 10 stitches. When the case was brought before the court, the judge castigated Mullins for the sordid incident. In addition to a costly financial settlement, Mullins was required to make a public apology to the octogenarian. Mullins sought solace in whiskey. Once a highly respected aspirant for the lightweight crown, he now found himself associating with the dregs of society. He would work himself into an alcoholic frenzy in which he would trumpet scurrilous attacks on the champ, the old manager, and the judge. One avid fight fan attributed Mullins' absence from the ring to sickness, saying that he was recovering from a bad case of scotch.
Okay, now I'll explain the short story again using simpler words. This story is about an 80-year-old manager who was so angry that he sued a guy named K.O. Mullins for hitting him. He showed a cut above his eye that needed 10 stitches as proof of the attack. In court, the judge scolded Mullins for this awful incident and made him pay a lot of money and apologize publicly to the older man. Feeling bad, Mullins turned to drinking whiskey. He used to be a well-known boxer aiming for the lightweight title, but now he was hanging out with the worst kinds of people. He often got drunk and said really mean and untrue things about the champion, the old manager, and the judge. One big boxing fan thought Mullins wasn't fighting because he was sick, joking that he was getting over too much Scotch whiskey. Did you catch that? If not, keep listening, I'm sure you'll be able to grasp it soon. Meanwhile, this is the end of this video. I hope you have learned something useful, and that the methods I used to help you remember the words were helpful. If you liked the video, please hit the like button, share and subscribe. If you have another way of memorizing any of these words, please leave your comments so that we can learn from you too. Thanks.